Hey there guys, welcome to a new card review. So today, we'll be checking out a card that was requested to me by Super Charmander 1, and that card will be Saber Beetle. A very interesting choice indeed. I believe the main reason why he wanted me to review this card is because this must be his favorite card. Well, let's see what I have to say about Saber Beetle, and let's get this review started, ladies and gentlemen. Saber Beetle does look pretty cool. I did some research on this card just to know what type of beetle that it's based on, and from all the research I did, it's based on a Dynus Hercules beetle, which I find that very interesting indeed. I do like that its long horn is charging up some electric energy of some kind. It kinda adds some nice effect to the artwork. We see the bug itself standing on some rock, or is that some part of a tree? I'm not too sure, but whatever. We also see some Aztec style lines on its back. And this beetle isn't the only insect monster that has these line designs. I'm guessing they have something in common. I'm not too sure why though, other than the fact that they were in the same pack together, which that will be Shadow of Infinity. So your guess is good as mine. So overall, this beetle looks pretty cool to me, even though I'm insect phobic, but I do think that beetles are pretty cool, and this one is no different. So my score for art is a 4 out of 5. So let's check out its effect. During battle between this attacking card and a defense position monster whose defense is lower than the attack of this card, inflict the difference as battle damage to your opponent. In other words, this card does piercing damage to your opponent, and that's the only effect of this card sadly. Don't get me wrong, I think this effect is good, especially the fact that this monster's attack is 2400. But if this is the only thing this beetle is good at, then sadly I'm not impressed. So its score for its effect is a 3 out of 5. So what kind of deck will Saber Beetle be good in? Well, Saber Beetle suffers the same fate like Millennium Scorpion. It isn't a very competitive material card, so I had to do a bit of research of what kind of decks it can work well with. But sadly, the only deck that I could find most likely is an insect deck. So I'll try my best not to mention any cards that I use for the Millennium Scorpion review. So for deck choices, I'll be showing you guys 4 monsters that'll work, along with 2 spells and 1 trap. So let's get started. Doomdozer is pretty much the boss monster for a lot of insect decks, and it also has the Aztec style lines on its body like Saber Beetle. You can special summon this big bugger by removing 2 insect monsters from your graveyard from play. Once this thing inflicts battle damage to your opponent, the top card from their deck goes straight to the graveyard. Pretty handy indeed. Here's another very strong insect monster that also has the Aztec style lines on its body, Chainsaw Insect. It has 2400 attack and it's a level 4. That's pretty strong for a level 4. So its effect does this. Once this thing attacks or is attacked, your opponent draws 1 card at the end of the damage step. Yeah, it might help your opponent in the long run, but at least you did some high damage to your opponent. Crosssword Beetle can also do piercing damage to your opponent just like Saber Beetle, but you need another insect monster on your side of the field in order to use its effect. Armor Bee is a pretty interesting insect monster to use. Once per turn, you can cut the attack power of 1 face-up monster your opponent controls in half until the end of the turn. So it's kinda like Blackwing Gale the Whirlwind in a way. Now let's check out the spells. Verdant Sanctuary is a continuous spell card that works well with insect decks. Once an insect monster was destroyed and was sent to the graveyard, the controller searches for an insect monster from their deck with the same level as the destroyed insect monster and adds it to their hand. Pretty useful indeed. Insect Neglect is another continuous spell card that also works well with insect decks. When your opponent declares an attack, you can remove 1 insect monster from your graveyard to negate the attack. Now for the trap. Spider Egg is an interesting trap for insect decks. Once your opponent declares a direct attack, and if you have 3 or more insect monsters in your graveyard, negate the attack and special summon 3 spider tokens. These tokens may be weak, but you can use them to defend yourself or use them as a tribute to summon Saber Beetle. So pretty much, Saber Beetle will be great for an insect deck. Not much I can say other than that, so its score for deck choices is a 3 out of 5. So overall, Saber Beetle is a pretty cool insect monster. It has some pretty cool artwork, an okay effect, and as for decks, it will work well in an insect deck. So I have to thank Super Charmander 1 for allowing me to review this card for him. so link to his channel will be down in the description box down below. So what's my overall score for Saber Beetle? Well, it's getting an overall score of a 3.2 out of 5. That's it for this review, and if you guys have any cards you want me to review for future reviews, just leave a comment down below and I'll see what I can do. So next time I'll be reviewing Locomotion Argenix. So remember guys, comment, rate, and subscribe. This is Dragon Core 7, and I'll be seeing you all next time.